skills and vocabulary too. Cover hits in the distant distance, it's all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
Everybody, what's going on? Ringtime Pro Wrestling is at it again. Keith and Keisha in the building for the final time of 2016. Keisha, say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody. And I just want to say that I am thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly excited about the fact that it is the final time that we're coming to you in 2016. Because me personally, I'm ready for this year to be over with. Like, I mean, seriously. I needed 2016 to be over with, like, yesterday. Like, I mean, just... So, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you out there that feel my sentiment, and I thank you for agreeing with me and just ready to just take this last breath in 2016 and breathe a new one into 2017, because I can't deal with this year no more. I just can't. Like... I know that's not how I'm supposed to say hey, but that's how I'm saying hey this one. I mean, today. So, that's what we're doing. I'm just, nope.
Well, you are entitled to say hello how you so choose. This will be our basically big bang recap episode of the entire year. Of course, we're going to go over some things that went down this week because we can't leave that out. But, we will talk our matches of the year. We will talk about our big news. We will talk about how TNA survived once again. Yet we are still unsure what the hell they are or what they're going to be. Right. Pretty much the overall arcing theme about this is the WWE's attempt at world domination apparently in 2016 and how it's going to push even stronger in 2017. And, you know, people not having that shit. So... we'll see how that all breaks down. New Japan definitely is gearing up for Wrestle Kingdom. There will be a Wrestle Kingdom preview show probably coming next week. Probably a day ahead of the actual Wrestle Kingdom show, where I will sit down and go by match. And it'll be about New Japan. Like, it will be no WWE news in that particular episode. Why? Because one thing I have noticed is that we talk about WWE all the time. To be fair, they always got something to talk about. So what we're going to do is focus on that. We're going to focus on just a lot. We're going to talk about a lot today, but we're going to have it in for you because we need something to hold you over for the new year as we roll out this year, which honestly, Keish, celebrity deaths have been really bad, right?
Right, they have.
But in wrestling, we got off kind of easy.
This year, yes. I can actually agree with that.
Right? Like, we lost China, which is very unfortunate. We lost Blackjack Mulligan, that's very unfortunate. Iron Mike Sharp, very unfortunate. But, I mean, like, okay, in the wrestle book, there's like 19 deaths this year. And right. we'll cover that too. But like I mean, like 2015, we lost Dusty and Piper. You know what I mean? I'm just to give you a little context.
Yeah, that was
just to give you context.
Those were like two hard blows to the chest. I mean, this year, China was a hard blow to the chest as well. But I have to honestly say, like, this year was actually a little bit easier to kind of deal with.
China was pretty bad because I think there were some things that we were expecting, and honestly, I thought she was turning around,
right?
And that was just I don't know. But as I sip my coffee, we are live. So once again, let me get myself together and get to tweet out some links so y'all can come to Spreaker. The chat room is open. I am always available to talk in the chat. If you got questions, you can drop them in the chat room. That is always a fun thing to do. Even though people don't do it, some people pop in the chat room. They talk to each other. They don't talk to us. that is fine. We will be your chat room for you to flirt with your woman. That is fine. Because it's not like y'all don't have a billion other chat rooms to do that with, but we understand. I just started complaining that I became old man, get off my lawn. Okay.
I'm not dealing with you. I swear I'm not. No, you didn't just say that.
Yeah, I did. But, I mean, I'm just saying, people jump in the chat and do whatever they want to do. So, I just have to say, y'all.
I can't. No. You just, the old man that just say, get off my lawn. Like, back to you.
I fully accept I'm old man, get off my lawn. Like, I accepted that, like, 3 years ago. When I started talking about how dealing with millennials is a big deal, I realized that I am in the full on get off my lawn mode.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta know who you are, you know. And then I understand that. I understand that completely. So hey, it is what it is. Trust me. Today has just been extra. I don't know. I don't want to say long because it wasn't really long. It was just, but I know everybody don't know, but like when you go to work on Monday and as you're sitting there during your shift, you go from having like this weird feeling of fatigue to just being full blown sick. Like, yeah, that's a problem. Like, I literally was behind that security desk, and I went from being like, oh, I'm just a little tired, I just need to wake up still, to like, I'm not coming to work tomorrow because I feel like I'm going to pass out, and my stomach hurts, and like, I'm nauseous. I'm going to the bathroom every 30 minutes, and this is just not going to work for me. So, yeah. And then it just stretched over a span of like the last 48 hours. So I just got done like getting rid of my runny nose, and I swear to you, my whole face, like, you know how you blow your nose so much it gets swollen at the end, and then it's just dry. Like, that's where I'm at right now. So I ask everybody, please just work with me, people. I've actually just gotten back my sense of smell. So I think I'm good to go right now.
Work with, pray. And, you know, we got some time to get you through, Keish. We are with you. The community supports you. And we're going to talk about this wrestling. All right,
of course.
This week's Raw. Fairly decent show, right? We're more tweaking towards Royal Rumble. It was the last Raw of 2016, and we had to make sure everybody felt good. Everybody was warm and fuzzy and went out on a big bang. But we opened this show with a rematch, man. Sheamus and Cesaro defended their straps against the New Day. Big E did not represent the New Day in this one, which generally in most title defenses he's always been in the match, right?
Right.
Because you got to have your powerhouse, and then you use your two little guys. But I think they felt like maybe they could use a quicker lineup. Well, the shit didn't work, right? Let's get to
really
that.
Didn't.
It didn't work. And even though they had the power of 3, Sheamus and Cesaro figured out a way around it, even with their own weird dysfunction. And they retained the straps. They still the champs after about 2 weeks. What do you think they 2017 looking like, Keish?
I think it looks good for at least 6 months. I'm not saying that it is gonna just be horrible after that. I'm saying, like, I know they're going to be a tag team together for at least for the first 6 months of the year. Like, because right now they look absolutely awesome. So I feel like going into 2017, they're going to have the tag titles for a while, especially going into WrestleMania, and then probably after. They are going to be strong. Because, I mean, they have some competitors in the tag team division on Raw, as far as I can see. But we still have to, like, take into account that anything can happen as far as SmackDown trades and, you know, just, like, them miraculously losing the titles and stuff like that. So anything's possible. But I see them being extra strong. I mean, I see them being really, like, together as a tag team for at least the first 6 months of the year. Like, I really see them excelling way past where they're at right now as far as, and now, I mean, they're the champions right now, so it's not even a question as to, you know, can they reach that highest point? They're already there, but, like, just how long will they hold on to it, and what can they do with it is now where we're at. So I'm thoroughly prepared to see, you know, how many, like, teeth they kick down people's throats. Like, I'm just kind of prepared for that.
I like Cesaro the tag team setting better, right?
Right.
Like, I fully learned to understand that. Like, Cesaro and the tag team, to me, really, really is ass kicking. One, I like the growth potential because they still have this element of they figured each other out. They still got this element of we kind of don't like each other. They still, you know what I mean? So all that's still coming together, right? So we got room for the relationship to evolve. Now, the thing they've got a lot of potential feuds on the table. New Day is about to be out of the mix. One thing with Raw, I think they have to stop. They get all their tag teams tied up in useless stuff. Gallows and Anderson would be the next logical feud, but I probably would stay away from that because I might want to hold them off until just the way we do wrestling, because we got pay-per-view cycles.
Right.
I really think that would be a kick-ass match at WrestleMania. And I think maybe the first round leading up to that, maybe Royal Rumble, maybe give them Enzo and Cass or somebody. You know what I mean? But right now, everybody's kind of tied up. Okay, Enzo and Cass are tied up with Rusev, and now maybe Jinder Mahal as a part of that.
Right.
Which,
yeah,
I'm not totally sold. It gets. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think Gallows and Anderson are tied up with Golden Truth, but they use them for a match. Which I'll get into the politics of that because I get more offended sometimes than maybe I should, and I'm going to own that, right? But we'll get
what
to
do you
this.
mean, Keith?
Well, we'll get to that later in the show. Let's go down because I want to go down in order because I want to keep my notes intact. So next week, Goldberg is scheduled to be on Raw. We ran a lot of good promos this week, hyping up the Goldberg and Brock thing. So next week, Goldberg will come on and talk, which I'm assuming the week after that, Brock will come and talk. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Then the final week will be the big face-off where both of them are in each other's face, and they'll talk, but what'll happen is, instead of them two just fighting, it'll break out to this big brawl because all the wrestlers gonna come down. Because then they're gonna argue, they're gonna be going back and forth, and then somebody like Big Show is gonna come down to the ring and say, "You think it's just about you?" You know what I mean? Then somebody like, you know, Seth Rollins is gonna be like, "Hey, I get this, that, other." You know what I mean? Then Jericho will come down. You know what I mean? And it'll evolve into a thing. You might even get an 8-man tag match out of it, right? You might get a mock battle royal, but we'll have something that will set the Raw up from that day, right?
Right.
I don't know how many Raw superstars are going to be in the Rumble because you're going to have both brands, And I wouldn't be surprised if you take the old fogies that they go throw in, the surprise entrance per se. All right, I need some more coffee because I'm being real negative. No, because when I said the old fogies, I'm like, oh shoot, I am being negative. Ooh. Ooh.
No,
I can't end 2016 like that, man. It's 29th. I can't be petty. Keish, I can't be petty. So let's not call them old fogies. But there's at least 2 or 3 surprise entrants. You got some other things going down. I think NXT will supply like 2 or 3 guys to really pop the crowd. I wouldn't be surprised if Shinsuke Nakamura makes his main roster debut at Royal Rumble. Heard it here first. Not saying it's happening.
What? I wouldn't either. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Like, I'll be excited. I'll be glad that it happened.
You know, Triple H get tired of people asking him when he comes to the main roster.
I'm sure he is. But, and I know that's a decision that he is going to make on his own, but at the same time, hey, I mean.
You're like, don't you get to see a wrestler every week?
Right, like.
Aren't you seeing it on TV?
How can you blame people?
No, I can't. Because, man, I can't imagine that interest in like WrestleMania on the big WrestleMania stage.
Keith, just stop it. Don't do that. Like,
I need like 50 violins. I need 100 violins. It's going down. I want a pyro. Don't get me in charge because I'm gonna have a $40,000 interest. I'll spend it all the money, Keith.
I'm not doing.
Vince gonna be mad. Nia Jax destroys the indie girl, who I guess decided to have Sasha Banks as a role model.
Wow.
I mean, her name was Scarlett, which was kind of weird in all of it.
Right.
But, you know, and they tried to make us, you know, they tried to sell her like she was somebody. They're like, yeah, Scarlett. And I'm like, this is some indie girl they found in Chicago. Which Raw was in Chicago, which is always interesting.
And weird.
Yeah. Which,
and slightly frustrating.
You hear the Steph jab at CM Punk?
I did. And then I also seen the post that CM Punk posted on his Instagram after the fact, so.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I like my rivalry. I love Petty. You know I'm here for Petty.
Of course.
I support the Petty movement. Which, 2016, we call year Petty. Because Petty made it very strong. People was proud of their Petty.
Some a little too much, but you know.
Yeah. There was Petty LaBelle. There was Petty Pendergrass.
You ain't got no sense.
You know what I'm saying? There was Leon Petty. Officer Petty. Which I know Officer Petty. For real. He was the head of PAL football when I was a little kid in Pontiac, Michigan.
That's awful.
But neither here nor there. Nia Jax destroyed the indie girl. She told you she needed to get a new role model because Sasha Banks is not a good role model for you to have. And she proceeded to toss this girl about 50 yards across the ring while my wife laughed at her. I didn't learn that, you know, some people in my house take joy in watching folks get tossed across the ring.
But that's awesome, though. Right?
Yeah. Here's the things. Between the two women that live with me, I have learned that I could be amazed and slightly disturbed by watching wrestling with them. I'm trying to groom the little one to be the next champ, but I think she's picking up some bad habits. I may be raising a heel.
Oh, Lord. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, I realized because she's like, I just smack her in the back with a chair, and I'm like, no, I don't think that's the rules. Now, many of y'all are listening right now live and are about to call me a bad father, and I will tell you, nah, I'm not. Nah, win at all costs.
And it's funny because, wait, some of the ones are the same ones that probably, like, wake their kid up at, like, 5 in the morning for swim practice. Like, come on, man. Just don't do that. Like, they're, like, 6, and they're like, all right, it's time to go to swim practice. Like, it's 5 a.m.
Speaking of which, I got to set my alarm. So, Charlotte defeats Bayley finally in a one-on-one match. It took Dana Brooke to be the ref, but it happened.
Of course. Yeah, because that's fair.
Now, here's something I want to get to. Neville defeated TJ Perkins. How are you feeling the new Neville? Because I don't think we really got into Neville last week.
Keith, you don't understand how excited I am that you asked that question. I love the new Neville. Do you not hear me? Like, I'm going to repeat that. I am excitedly agreeing with the new Neville. Like, I love the new Neville. Like, his attitude and presence and everything about him is like, yes. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I'm starting to believe that I'm becoming a heel myself. Like, I am excited about this person. Like, I'm like, yes. When he comes, his level of aggression that has been displayed ever since he returned has been like a whole nother level of 10. Like, I have been too excited about it. Now, at first when he returned and he attacked Perkins and Swann, I was like, oh man, you know, like, damn, that's deep. But then I was like, yes. Like, he's just like, I am the king of the cruiserweights. I was like, you better tell him, Neville, like, I'm excited. Like, I am all Team Neville right now.
Yeah.
I am. I don't know if I'm supposed to be, but I don't care. Like, I don't. Like, I really,
All right, here's the things.
I am all in for it.
He's small, so he get away with it, but he might be a little too swole for 205. We might want to check that. But
Right.
Seriously, I like the repackaging. I think they both fell into an incredible opportunity here, right?
Right.
Neville is somebody that I thought had a lot of potential on the main roster, and he was floundering. They didn't know what to do with him, right? He was kind of caught in this matrix. He got hurt at the right time, went away for a while. When he came back, this cruiserweight thing was cracking. He's the right size. I think he'll be one of the guys who, because he's used to wrestling with bigger guys, I think he's going to do this for a while, get it cracking, win the belt, lose the belt, go through the whole process, and then we will see him transition back more into the mainstream roster.
Right.
And challenge for the heavyweight title, stuff like that. But now rack up a name and rack up some experience in the WWE and do some things. Just do some things differently, right? This is a whole new start for him. But I want you to think of somebody like Rey Mysterio, who was seen as a cruiserweight, but then transformed and transferred into somebody who was more of a main roster talent. If that makes any sense.
It does. It makes perfect
or
sense.
even, let's look at New Japan. Kenny Omega, for the last couple of years, was a junior heavyweight champion, and he was always competing in the junior heavyweights. Immediately when it was time for him to flip that switch, he's now in just the regular old heavyweight division. Right? He hasn't changed anything about him. So that's what I'm saying. I think this platform will allow Neville to, one, he'll hone his promo skills, which I don't think are particularly sharp. He'll develop more of a personality that will allow him to navigate that back to the main. Not necessarily main roster, because this is a main roster thing, but into like the more traditional matches and traditional titles. I like what he's doing down there with those guys. His backstory with Rich Swann works. I could verify that it exists because I was at a show where they were both there on the Indies. Which I gotta find some more of those pictures, Keish. I saw like one of the pictures I posted of Dean Ambrose as John Moxley from that night. I found some Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee, pictures. So I'm going to go back and kind of find some more stuff because I had to prove to Lynn I was there that night. Besides paying $20 to order the video. Yeah, but no, seriously, these guys have a good backstory. You know I can't stand Rich Swann. So,
yeah,
the Neville beatdown is very much welcomed. So yeah, I like what was being done with Neville. I can't complain about that, and I think this is a perfect opportunity for him.
I think it is too.
Yeah,
I do.
So we was talking about Rusev and Jinder Mahal. Apparently, Jinder Mahal got into it with Enzo, and so now he's joining up with Rusev. They jump Enzo and Cass from the back, beat him up, which is good because I didn't really understand how this thing was going to function with Rusev by himself.
Yeah.
Even though I still think it's a waste of time, it gives it a new twist because it's now more feasible. Also, I mean, can we salvage something with him and Jinder as a tag team?
I think we can. I feel like there can be something that could work here with them two together.
Are we willing to take Jinder Mahal serious?
I think that's the
These
biggest question.
real life questions. Real life questions.
That is like the biggest question. Like, can I really look at him and be like, yeah, Jinder? No, I don't know if I can. Like, I don't know if I'm there yet. I need a minute. Like, I don't know what to.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't even know what to say about that.
Apologies to Rusev. I've been saying he's from Detroit for a long time. He is really a Bulgarian brute. He is really from Bulgaria. He has a weird name. But yeah, his background checks out. And Lana is not Russian, but
wait,
she has some.
Keith, you didn't know that?
No, I know she's not Keith, but I want to give some background. She's not Russian, but she, and I mean, I know she. If you watch Total Divas, you know, hey, she don't talk like that. But
right,
her parents are like Polish and something else, right? And she spent a lot of time in her formative years growing up in Latvia. Now, give you a little geopolitical lesson. Latvia was once part of the Soviet Union. It is no longer. So she kind of is a ravishing Russian, but not quite.
So she like touches it, but not necessarily is. Yeah,
it's not as fabricated as I thought. You know what I mean? I'm like, this chick from St. Louis. Will y'all quit? But no, she's not. She's born in Florida, but she spent a lot of time her childhood in Latvia. And that was a former part of the Soviet Union. Which there's going to be a whole generation of kids who really don't get a grasp of what that Soviet Union thing is. But
no, they're not.
You know how we beefing with Russia now? When I was a kid, the Russians were the thing. Like I if you missed the 1980s, I really can't get. Just trust me. Every movie, and I mean every movie that had a villain, they was Russian.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, that I don't care what it was about. They had a Russian villain because that's what it was. Cold War was in full effect. Matter of fact, wrestling villains were Russian. Do you realize that at WCW when they put together the Russians? Okay, Ivan Koloff might have been the only one who had like a background, like their family might have been from Russia. You know what I mean? I think Ivan is from Canada. Nikita Koloff is from Minnesota. He is. And like they try, and at least with Crusher Khrushchev, aka Barry Darso, aka Half a Demolition, aka the Repo Man, they at least tried to sell him as a American defector. You know what I mean? He was an American, but found out back in the day wasn't uncommon, right?
Right.
Now WWF had a real Russian because they had Nikolai Volkov, but like I said, it wasn't uncommon, right? You remember the Von Erich family are really the Atkinsons. They got Von Erich because Fritz was a German, because that was the thing we didn't like back when he got started.
Oh, wow.
But, like I said, this is going into a history lesson, but okay. Braun Strowman destroyed another match. He destroyed Darren Young and the Shining Stars and that kind of thing. And who was Darren Young's partner, Keisha? I forget. Some dude. That's all I can tell you.
What was his? No, it's somebody we know.
Yeah.
Who was his partner? God damn it! Shit. And I've just seen this match. Like, why do I not remember who his partner was? This is ridiculous. Like,
see, I saw him laying on the ground and I forgot his name.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so, and who did they face? Damn it.
They faced the Shining Stars. It was Epico and Primo.
Okay. Epico and Primo, Darren Young. No, that wasn't it. Because I was watching, no, that's me watching too much 205 Live. Because I was going to say Cedric Alexander. That's not it.
No, Cedric Alexander was not a part of this match.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's from me watching too much of that. Oh my God. You know what? I have an answer for you. Shortly. But I do not remember who how do I not remember that? Because I watched that match. Well, the however long it was, like, I don't know. Damn it. Because I was like, man, Braun is kicking everybody's ass. Like, he was just destroying people. Like, it was, I have to honestly say, I like how they display Braun right now. And always. Like, the fact that they make him look so powerfully dominant is just, Bo Dallas. That's who it was. It was Bo Dallas. That was his partner. Which was weird, because I was like
they don't even go together.
You?
And ain't Darren Young positive? Okay, let's see.
Like,
so yeah, so weird. But yeah, so Braun beat up everybody. Was set him up for his match with Seth Rollins, who that was made at the beginning of the night because Seth wanted to fight because he was pissed off about last week.
Right.
I thought they presented the match good, where Seth looked strong, but we still felt like Braun was in control. I never felt like Braun lost control. But nobody had to lose. Sami Zayn showed up with the sneak attack and got chased
which I thought was awesome
by Braun, which is good because he's the cause of all of this. He the cause everybody get beat up for the last 2 weeks. I think he should show up and try to do something.
Right.
Then we fast forward to Jericho coming down to the ring and getting Rollins with 2 code breakers. So that feud is white hot. The club knock off the Golden Truth. Not too much to go with there. Rich Swann beat Little Davari and got beat up by Neville. And
which was awesome.
Roman Reigns retained his U.S. title as he defeated Kevin Owens. Jericho showed up. Rollins showed up, handled Jericho, and then they proceeded both to beat up both of them. And here we are.
And that was Raw, people.
Yeah.
Thank you and good night.
So, what do you think of Roman's chances at Royal Rumble? Do you think he could take the belt from KO, or is KO going to carry this thing out to WrestleMania?
I think KO is going to carry this thing out to WrestleMania. and I think that's where he's going to lose the title. Like, that's me, my personal opinion. Like, I hate to say it that way because that means that he will be losing the title on the biggest stage ever, but that's how I see it right now. Like, unless they try to, I think it to me, this could go either one or two ways, and these are, to me personally, my only two scenarios of this situation. He loses the title at Royal Rumble, and then he has his WrestleMania moment where he regains the title. Or he keeps the title at Royal Rumble, and he loses it at WrestleMania. Like, I just don't see him, like, I see him of course, either he has the title after WrestleMania or he doesn't. But, like, there's no scenario here where he's, like, he has the title at Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Like, I just don't see it that way. So, he either loses it at one, and he gains it at the other. But to me, there's no both in this situation. Now, whether it'll go to Roman or not, that's just a whole nother situation. But, well, we all know that if anybody that really is paying attention knows that Seth Rollins is going to face Triple H at WrestleMania. Like, that to me is already a given.
Yeah, I think that's locked in.
That's already locked in. Like, that's already a given. So we know that Rollins is not going to be in the title picture unless, like, at some point, like, he wins the title and then he faces Triple H. But I don't see that happening because then it's like, then the title wouldn't be necessarily on the line at WrestleMania unless Triple H makes it that way. No, I mean, of course he would.
Understand, if Triple H is in the match, the title's on the line.
Yeah.
Like, the game wants to be the 16, like, or 15-time champ. Like, he'll go for 15. Like, understand.
Well, why wouldn't he? He's already at, what, 13? And
14, actually.
14. So he's already at 14. I'm pretty sure. I feel like, well, we are talking about Triple H, so, yeah, never mind. Like, I had to remember what I'm really talking about here. Yeah, he would definitely want that record and have his name, like, written all over it. So, but we're not talking about that. Like, I'm throwing out that scenario. I'm just saying that all I'm saying is KO is going to lose the title at one pay-per-view and gain it at the other. I just don't know how exactly that's going to go, but that's just my personal opinion. Like, so Roman might not win it at Royal Rumble, but he definitely might have a shot at WrestleMania. So we'll just have to see. Yeah. But the thing is, if he loses at Royal Rumble, wouldn't he be in the Royal Rumble, or is that just going to be it? I mean, because you know, it's real easy for him to just be screwed and be like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
It depends on how they structure the matches, right?
Right.
So we can have a title match before the Rumble, after the Rumble. I hope the Rumble is the main event. So, and if we have title matches early, somebody could lose in the title match and then decide to jump in the Rumble. Also, we're going to have a pay-per-view in between the Rumbles. So I'm sure SmackDown and Raw both will have pay-per-views. So
right.
I am anticipating that somebody decides to say, you know what, I'm gonna make a title change on one of those in-betweens. Like, I don't think that's far-fetched that somebody decides to make a title change on the in-between.
No, but, I don't think it is either.
So, I mean, that's there. With that being said, Keish, I think it's about time for a break. And we'll come back and we will do the news, which will be a short segment. Birthdays is probably going to be short. I don't really know. But either way, Then we'll get into SmackDown, and then we'll come back on the back end and wrap this thing up with our recap of 2016.
Cool.
All 2016. Sorry. Just thought I would throw that in. That sounded kind of fun.
Bye, Keith. Not dealing with you.
You always not dealing with me.
I'm not. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like 9 times out of 10, I don't really deal with me people during the day. Like I think at least 4 or 5 people hear from this from me at least 3 or 4 times a day. Like I just, I'll be done. Like I seriously just be done. Like nah, I'm good.
No, it's fair. You know what I mean? I understand.
But I still love you, though.
Love you, too. We'll be back on a break.
All right.
Just like what we were talking about, everybody sets their goals high, and look what happens. This isn't just ours. This is everybody's. This is everybody's. This is what you need, Ted DiBiase. You need a little bit of family. That's what we are. When we get together, we kick people's teeth in together.
This is not the $1 million belt. This is the Hulkamaniac belt. This is not purchased. These belts, this Hulkamaniac team can't be bought. You gotta fight, kick, and grind for it. And Hulk Hogan, we are gonna fight, kick, and grind for you all the way.
You know something, multi-million-dollar man? Now that we're winding down to the Survivor Series, now that it's not that far off, I really like the fact that you're being backed into a corner by your own team. These guys aren't a bunch of has-beens like you tried to drill into the powers of pain's mind. These are the best in the world, brother. These are the best at what they do. These are the WWF Tag Team Champions #1. I'm glad you had to cut an extra check to the powers of pain. And as far as Jake the Snake's DDT stretcher service, arenas all around the country, multi-million-dollar man, his opponents are getting that long, slow ride in that rolling coffin as the ambulance wheels out of the arenas, as the red lights come on. I can't help but think you're going to be the next victim of the DDT. Zeus, you're mine. Jake the Snake, how are you going to get him in the
bottom
DDT?
line is this, my man. A man that's dying of thirst has to have water. A dog that's starving has to have food. A child that's crying has got to have some attention. I have got to have you, Ted DiBiase.
You know, we all have our needs. We all have our wants. But one thing I know, multi-million-dollar man, winding down into this thing, you're going to be on the phone. You're going to try to get a hold of Jake the Snake. You're going to try to get a hold of Demolition. Nobody here sells out. We live by the commandments.
Right.
But we are back. I did not realize that some things was going to end quicker than I thought. But, hey, we are rolling into our birthday segment, and then we will talk about what me and Keisha was talking about behind the scenes.
Exactly.
It's the end of the year. There are no birthdays to discuss for today. Yesterday was the 29th, and Justin Roberts had a birthday. So, happy birthday, Justin Roberts. There's no birthdays discussed for tomorrow. So, wrestling has no New Year's Eve birthdays. But
Man.
it does have some big January 1st birthdays. So, to start off 2017, bound for the South, Jimmy Hart will celebrate a birthday. Jimmy will turn like 70 something. Shoot. Like I gotta do the math for that. Okay, yeah, 72 or 73. Shoot. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I do that right. Okay, so 2014 or 70.
What year was he born in?
1944. Now, and it makes sense because, okay, he's from a family that sung. They were singers, the Gentrys. And I mean, their hits were in the 50s. So that kind of makes sense, Keish. Yeah. Jimmy Hart gonna be 73. Shout out to my man Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is turning 40.
Wait, Bobby Roode is turning 40?
Yeah.
Bobby Roode does not look 40. Like,
Yeah, but you know the funny thing is,
seriously.
16 years ago, you could catch him on Velocity and all those other like knockoff shows, Heat, and all that stuff when he was trying to get to the WWE, when he was doing jobs, you know what I mean, and showing up doing work.
This is true. This is true. Like, you know, I never think about that.
Yeah.
It's funny because in my mind, like, I guess because when I see wrestlers in a new venue, like, I don't really think about that. And then I learn their real ages, and I'll be like, they don't look that old. I don't know why don't they look that old? Like, they really don't. Because the second you say something like 37, 38, 45-ish, like, I'm like, okay, really? Like, but then I have to remember, like, they have, like, 10-year wrestling, 10 years already, and, you know, 10-plus years, and 15, and 18, and 20, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's understandable. And then I had to remember that some of them wrestled in other places before they wrestled, and in the other place before they wrestled in WWE. So there was a place before a place before a place for a lot of them. Yeah. You know, ones I think that actually just started and probably was just getting their feet off the ground, actually have been wrestling for like 10 years and just been kind of going through the independent circuits and really haven't been televised that much. And some of them actually had careers in WWE at one point and ended up going off to the indies and then coming back around after like another 10, 15 years. And it happens, especially since I've been running through, like, every Royal Rumble that has ever happened. Like, well, I actually started from, like, 96. I'm not even going to sit here and act like I started in 88. But going through, like, each year from that point on, it's just really funny. Like, because I'm seeing wrestlers that I see now, and I'm just kind of like, wait, the hell? Like, some of them I knew had other gimmicks, but then others I'm like, okay, like, I didn't know this actually happened. So
yeah. But back to what we was talking about off air, Keith, because it's the news time. Hey, Rolling Stone decided to have a top 16 wrestlers list. Top wrestlers list of 2016. I just thought I heard my smoke alarm.
I was like, Keith, are you having a fire?
No,
oh my God.
I was kind of worried for a minute. I thought I was.
Stop, drop, and roll, Keith. Stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, but that was woo. I'm like, whoa, do we got to panic? Like, what the hell?
Right. Like, all right, we got to stop the show. Everybody, we love you. Good night. Like, that's it. That would have been the end of it. I'm telling you.
I mean, I got to at least, huh?
I'm going to tell you right now, I would not have said anything until I would have known what's going on.
Yeah. Only thing I can think of is that the battery was dying because it cut off real quick. So it might be a bad battery.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know where. But it definitely hit my ears.
Oh my God, imagine if you were asleep. Oh my God, that would have like been terrifying.
Yeah. Live radio, people. That's all I can tell you because this is not getting edited out. Live radio.
That would have been terrifying. Hey, I mean, sometimes they want to hear like the actual like real people and talk about something other than wrestling. I think that's the beauty of doing this is like we get to intervene other stuff. Like we just insert random thing here, and then it just fits. It's perfect because that's just what happens. I'm sorry, like we still love wrestling, people, and we still talk about this stuff all day long, all the time, every day. So I mean, just please.
Going through back to what we was talking about, Rolling Stone, the 10 best superstars of WWE superstars, 2016. Now, one, they just isolated to the WWE. So if you were looking for Okada, or Kenny Omega or Broken Matt Hardy or Jay Lethal or Adam Cole. They are not on this list.
Right.
But number one on a list, on a top 10, 2016, Rolling Stone. Phenomenal AJ Styles. I do not disagree.
I don't either. I don't know either.
Keith, the amazement of his ascension in the WWE is crazy. I never knew what was going to happen with AJ and being in the WWE. I never knew if they would give him the proper push. I don't know if they were just going to see him as just a cruiserweight. One thing I think has helped, he came at the right time. Like, he came when he was ready, right? He came on his own terms because he was a high-priced free agent. Like, he didn't come 3 years ago, 4 years ago, right? Which, mind you, 2010, arguably the best wrestler in the world, right? 2011, I mean, there's a lot of years we could have argued he was the best wrestler in the world. While in TNA. The 2 5-star matches he had against Kurt Angle toward the end of 2009 and the beginning of 2010 was just, I don't know, it's some of the best work I've seen in a wrestling ring. So, but he even seasoned and perfected his craft a little more. Like, even then, I think that was more high flyer AJ Styles, where I think this is the most, I think maybe age has a lot to do with it, but it's the most well-rounded AJ Styles you're going to see. Seasoned enough, but still young enough to pull off stuff. So, number one, and far exceeded my expectations of him in the WWE. Also, he came to the WWE when they were in the midst of the style change, right? Like, I think they've adapted and changed their style a lot as a company. He's a beneficiary of it. And I think they're not afraid to bet on AJ Styles.
Which I'm glad about, because what I was fearing was him coming and then them, like, him being hot for like 2 or 3 months and then just kind of fading into the background.
Yes.
Like,
yes. No.
That's the thing that scared me the most. I was terrified of that. But then I had to remember that AJ Styles was just, to me, too hot of a commodity for them to let fade into the background.
But they've done it before.
Because the crowd ate him up.
Yeah, I mean, but they've done it so many times before. It was hard to believe that they wouldn't do it again. Right.
Exactly. Like, we've seen too many different examples of it happening to where you just knew in your mind, like, oh God, like, they're finna ruin AJ Styles' career. Like, I seriously was scared to death that was gonna happen. It's to a point now where, like, when I talk about other wrestlers that's still out in Japan and, you know, and some of the more popular ones that aren't in the WWE coming over, I'm like, I don't think I want that to happen, because I don't want them to ruin them. Like, it's just that bad for me. Like, I just get that scared of it, because I'm like, I don't want that to happen. And people are kind of like, you know, well, I wonder how this is going to happen. Like, just last night, I was having a conversation about the Young Bucks, and I was like, I don't think I want that to happen. Like, I was like, I just really don't want them to come to the WWE. Like, and he was like, why? I said, because I don't want them to get buried. Like, I just don't want them to end up in that situation. And I'm scared that just might happen. I'm not saying that it will, per se, but I'm saying, like, it's always a possibility. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
You don't want to see some of your favorite wrestlers just die like that. You know, like, you don't want to see their careers just kind of, like, just shrivel and die like that. Like, it's just awful.
Yeah. Crazy thing, AJ came over at Royal Rumble. That's when he came. Now, so we're looking at less than a year that he's been there the whole time, right? So,
which is awesome.
Number 2 on the list, and there's no argument here. And 2 out of the top 4 women. That I think that shows so much of how the WWE has changed. But number 2 is Charlotte Flair.
Which is greatness.
100% of Sasha Banks fan. But Keisha, I cannot deny success to anybody. Charlotte is the woman. Like she is at the top of her game. I don't know if there's a bigger big match performer in the company right now. Period. I don't know if there's a bigger big match person than Charlotte. Main event, it doesn't really matter. She's got you under control. Right?
Right.
Think about it. When Lita and Trish main evented Raw, that was such a huge deal. Such a huge deal. How many times have Charlotte and Sasha ran main event on pay-per-views or semi-main on a pay-per-view? This year.
I
You know what I mean?
Like, I think it's been about 3 or 4
Right.
that I can recall.
So I mean, the whole paradigm of wrestling has changed, and she's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Chris Jericho. I have Jericho in my top 10. I think 3 is kind of high for Jericho.
It is.
4 is Sasha Banks, and I don't disagree with that. I think Sasha Banks is a legit 4. Right.
Right.
Bill Goldberg at 5 lets me know the people are pandering. And this is why they call.
Yeah.
This is why Rolling Stone didn't call Keith Hope. Like I was wondering, Rolling Stone got a wrestler writer, and they don't got the best of the business. So I'm trying to figure out Forbes, Rolling Stone. Well, Forbes usually use contributors, but like all these big time outlets, I don't understand why they don't call the best of the business to do this. I'm sorry. I think Bill Apter that got older, Meltzer. Some of his stuff, I ain't saying it's shaky, but he's more about rumor and innuendo. Solid wrestling content. I'm gonna say it, Keisha's Keith Hope.
You might as well say it. I mean, why not?
Against all the other national columnists that you know,
like,
it's Keith Hope. But anyway,
right?
I ain't bitter. I'm just telling. This is how it is. But they got number 6 is Kevin Owens, who I would think would take Jericho's spot at 3. Number 7, Heath Slater. I keep Slater at 7, but there's some other people I would have in the list. Number 8 is The Miz, which I would keep in the list. Number 9 is Seth Rollins, who would go up to like 5 in Bill Goldberg's spot.
Right.
Enzo and Cass as a team. At number 10. Keith, they're not the best team in the company.
I would take them off completely.
I mean,
like,
think about
that didn't even resonate with me. Like I
like Enzo Amore. I like Big Cass. I think the sky's the limit for both of them. I think they're mismanaged. I think they use wrong. I think they should be having a big tag team run. When it's time to go solo, I think Enzo needs to go to the cruiserweights. When it's time to go solo, I think Cass is a main eventer. Okay.
Exactly.
Got it all for you. That being said, they're not even the best team. So, if you go put a team in, so the New Day, tag team champs for the entire calendar year of 2016. First ones go on the list. Second, American Alpha, The Revival.
Hands down.
Okay. I like heel Usos. Sheamus and Cesaro, current champs.
DIY. Please.
Keesh.
You can't forget about them.
All right. So you just went DIY. What that puts like 6 or 7?
Right. But
Gallows and Anderson?
Okay.
The Club? Like I keep pulling these guys further down the list. Who put them in? This guy put them in the top 10. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, I want to know who, because the guy who posted this isn't the guy who actually wrote the article. And they got Enzo and Cass in the picture. Oh, Kitty Herzog. I know Kitty. Oh, wow. So that's who they fucking called for this?
You say that like he's this guy that you couldn't stand in like high school.
No, it ain't nothing like that. I just, you know what I mean? Like, I can see why the list is like that. You know what I mean? It's a pandering with all. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't mess with that list. No way do I mess with that list. But let's get further off into the news, Keish. All 2016. Jay Lethal re-ups a 2-year deal with ROH. Word on the street, he turned down the WWE, who had an offer on the table. Why is this big? ROH is trying to sustain. And they've survived talent raids in the past, right? And I think what happened was, with Jay Lethal, the money was better than ROH, and I believe that. Because for them, he's a star. For WWE, they probably would have tried to send him to NXT. And what they would have paid him initially may not have worked out, right? Also, they're signing so much talent, it's going to be interesting to see how much is there to go around. Potentially, Adam Cole could be starting there in April when his contract runs out in ROH. Like, if we don't see anything that says he re-signed with ROH in the next month or two, word on the street is that he's going to be, in April, he's going to the WWE.
Really?
Which, once again, if they was making contract offers, who do you think they offer more to, Adam Cole or Jay Lethal?
Probably Adam Cole.
Exactly. Not to mention, I'm sure they got a checkbook open for Kenny Omega. That's probably ridiculous.
Of course.
Whether they pay him or not, whether they try to get him, Okada has got to be on that list. They're trying to fund this UK tournament. Like, there's so many other things going on. I don't know how much they offered Jay. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to get in his pockets, but I think this works out best for everybody. And I think he'll be a better commodity in ROH. And 2 years down the line, man, they may come calling back. And he have took even more strides. But ROH needs stability, and I think this works for them. So that was in the books. But yeah, Adam Cole, they think he may start in April, which is around WrestleMania season.
April?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of funny because, man, the rumors that are flying around, Keith.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle apparently been telling independent promoters that he might be returning to the WWE in April, which have him there in time for WrestleMania.
Right. Once he does return at WrestleMania, like he just walks down the ramp and like he just hears music hits and they're like, oh,
which, I mean, it's all rumor and speculation. Right now he has commitments to wrestle in February in the UK with Alberto Del Rio and with Cody Rhodes. But other than that, he doesn't have any bookings deep into the year. So they think that maybe that might be a thing. I don't know. I don't know. Do you know SmackDown Live beat Raw in the ratings for the first time in a long time this week?
No, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, I have to honestly say, I'm seriously not shocked.
It looked like the SmackDown team went that far and went that way. Like, they really purposely said, like, they tried to have a big year-end show. Like, I think Raw ran a regular show, but SmackDown was running this like it was a pay-per-view. Like, they've been hyping it up for like a couple of weeks. They had their title match set 2 or 3 weeks ago. then added somebody else to it. They made a fatal 4-way for the tag titles, which the tag titles had a battle royal to try to get number one contenders, but that didn't work out. So that now they had the fatal 4-way for the belts. They had a women's title match scheduled. They booked this like it was Clash of the Champions, and it was all the same week that John Cena came back.
Right. Wasn't it amazing? It was
interesting. And we can roll into that because we got a lot of other stuff to talk about. Cena's back for a limited time only because I'm sure he's going to be doing some more work outside of the company, which we will talk about how somebody is a hypocrite. But we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, I don't think he's a hypocrite. You know what? Because he dialed back some of his comments. I think this is what happens when young people speak and then they get older and get some wide wisdom about themselves. But
let's talk about it, Keith. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and discuss this thing because I'm ready. Like, let's just do it.
Cena criticized The Rock a long time ago for not coming back to WWE, not being committed to the brand, not being committed to this, and not being this, and just all being Hollywood and stuff like that. Where's Cena been in the last few months?
That's a great question.
Making movies.
You know what he's been? He's
shooting
been
TV shows.
He's been in Tide commercials. He's been in Hefty commercials. No, it's Hefty. He's been in Hefty commercials. I know because I was laughing at the fact that he was in Hefty commercials.
Yeah.
He's been on Saturday Night Live. He has been everywhere but in the wrestling ring. That's where he's been.
Exactly.
Ain't stepped not one foot down a SmackDown aisle. But yet, got the nerve to sit there and he's like, I'm not a part-timer. You're not a what? I mean, you have been MIA for like the last few months, sir. I'm going to need you to really like fully address what you just said. Like, I'm going to really need for you to, there'll never be me. I'll be here every week, every day, blah, blah. Okay. like, okay. Let's just be honest, Cena. Like, okay. So, contradictory statements happen when you don't really understand what's set for you in your future. Like, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know what you're going to do. And I'm like, okay. But I have to honestly say that the way that he ended his promo at the beginning of the show, that was awesome. That was greatness. Like, setting all the other BS aside, like, that was greatness. I'm tired of this new era of BS. Whoa. Sir. I'm going to really need for you to calm down. Like, I mean, he was just like, I'm tired of this new era of BS. It's my time. It's now era. Oh, okay, Cena. Well, all right. You know? Like, if that's how you feel, sir. You know what I'm saying? Who said that I can't? And those people said, who are you to do that? Because I'm John Cena. Recognize. Drops the mic. That was it for me, Keith. I swear to you. Like, I was done with the show after that. I was like, I'm done. Like, thank you, Cena. Like, where have you been for, like, the past, like, 3 years? Like, sir. That was awesome. Like, in all honesty, I was ready for him to hit the word life and just, like, walk out. Like, that would have just, if he would have did that, that would have been it for me. You know, he gave me one of my moments for the night, but then he ended up ruining it later on in the show, and I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
So,
yeah. We also have a show where American Alpha won the tag team titles, Keish.
That was the greatest thing ever. That
Only
was the greatest thing ever.
They took the belts off the Wyatts that quick? Well, they
That
not
was awesome.
Here's the thing. I'm all about American Alpha. I think they should have been champs a long time ago. The match was great. I thought it was very good. They had to overcome some things. They had to take out the heel Usos, got beat up, still persevered, stuck around, made it work.
Right.
The Wyatts used the Freebird rule where it was Harper and Orton defending the belts, and I think they didn't get along, wasn't on the same page. They made American Alpha made it work. But like I said, Keisha, they took the belts off the Wyatts that quick.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. It was definitely a surprise to me, but it was a great surprise because anybody that knows me knows I love American Alpha. So I was excited. I was like, yes, American Alpha gets to go into the 2017 with the tag team titles. Like, what? Like, I'm ecstatic about this situation. I didn't know that they were going to give American Alpha the titles, before the end of the year, let alone anytime soon. Like, I didn't expect anybody to have them anytime soon other than the Wyatts. So the fact that this even happened in the first place is just incredible. But I do feel that the Wyatts won't make it to WrestleMania, considering the tension that is building between the team as is, thanks to the dislike between Luke Harper and Randy Orton. Like, I don't know how that's going to work out too much, but I know that American Alpha is the tag team champs, and that's enough for me right there. Like, I'm thoroughly excited about that.
Yes.
So, I mean, what else do you need?
Right. Alexa Bliss defeated Becky Lynch in the rematch for the women's title for SmackDown. Even though I thought Becky had a really good match, I thought she showcased a little bit of brutality, a little bit of a mean streak. But
she did.
Alexa Bliss still did her thing, and she might hold on to that little thing for a while.
Let's not forget about Lady Luchador. Who is that anyway?
That was Becky.
No. Did you see her during the match?
Yeah.
That wasn't Becky during the match, though. Like, who was that? Like, I knew that was Becky last week, but my thing was, who was that this week? Because Becky was in the ring. Like, I'm like, who the hell was it this week?
I don't know. I think we'll find out. I know probably not Carmella because she's busy in like one of the dumber gimmicks where she's hanging out with Jimmy Ellsworth.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not Nikki Bella. Her and Natty got things going on.
Right.
So I mean, we can do process elimination on SmackDown roster.
Yeah,
it has to be somebody smaller. Yeah, Dean Ambrose got some revenge with a little sneak attack on Miz.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
That was, and I mean, all of that. Like, that was greatness.
Well, everybody likes to see the Miz get beat up, Keisha. I mean, I think that's been standard.
How did I miss? Well, I didn't miss it. I guess it's like every time I see it, it's new to me. The slap, man. Like, that slap from last week. Like, what the hell? Like, I was like, oh.
Shit got real. That's the only thing I can tell you, man. Shit got real.
Yeah. Like, Renee Young was like, bruh. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if she was ready for him to say what he said, the way he said it, but it was like, oof.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was taken aback. I was like, oh. But this week, it was funny because I liked the way that they presented the confrontation. Like, the way she asked the question and all of that, like, it was awesome. The whole setup was greatness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, whatever, here. Because that would have been me. Like, yeah, bye. Like, I can't deal with you right now. So, he just come creeping up. Dean is just so creepy sometimes. Like, I'm like, dude. But he's a lunatic friend, so I'm guessing that's just, I guess that just fits. Like, I don't know, but that was one of my favorite segments of the night as well. Maurice walking up like, if I were you, I would run. Like, girl, you ain't gonna do nothing. Like,
Right.
like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was sitting there like, if I was Renee, like, I wouldn't even think about flinching and looking at her. Like,
Right.
you ain't gonna do nothing. Like, just go sit down somewhere.
You know the funny thing is when I see Maurice, I'm thinking like, that's how far we've came in the wrestling. Because at one time she was Divas champ.
Right.
And we don't have
Exactly.
Divas anymore either, so that's like a big step forward. But wow, she was champ because she's in the right spot today.
Exactly.
No shade, but she's
Right.
she's not gonna wrestle, right?
No, she's not. She's not putting on, any wrestling boots. That's not even gonna happen. Like, she was a champion at the right time. She was in the right place at the right time when she did get in the ring. Like, she was in the perfect place. Because, like, if they were to even think about trying to put her in with the rest of the women, like, now, she wouldn't last. She wouldn't stand a chance. I will say that, because I am going to be the female advocate of, I am the female of the show, so I'm going to sit here and say it. Like, yeah, no. Nope. Mm-mm. Like, I'm pretty sure that's just not going to happen. So, that's why I said if I was Renee Young, I probably would look at her the same way she actually did look at her. Like, I'm like, no. Like, just bye. She was just sitting there staring at her like, okay, are you done? Like, get out of my face. Like, it was... Anyway. But that's not what all that happened in the show, so I'm going to stop ranting and raving.
Okay. As we get to the end of 2016, we're always looking for what was the best match of the year. Key SmackDown main event gave us, it could be the best match of 2016 at the end of 2016. But it's definitely in like the top 5, right?
Right.
AJ Styles defending the title against Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, and triple threats. You never know what you're going to get.
You don't.
I thought these guys sold out. Like, I thought the chemistry was perfect, and I thought the tension was perfect. I thought you never knew who had a chance to take this thing home, and there was like 4 or 5 different times I thought somebody different was going to be the new world champ.
I was very skeptical about this match at first because I really didn't know I didn't know what to expect, considering that I didn't think that AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin would be put in this mix at all, let alone so soon. So it was kind of weird for me because I was really like, okay, how is this really finna go for real? Because I was really wondering, like, how is this match, like, how good is this match really finna be? So, after watching it, I was impressed. I have to say I was impressed because I came in with I didn't have expectations because I didn't know what to expect. Like, I really was very sitting on pins and needles, like wondering if this was going to be a good dynamic for the three of them. So I was excited at the end, especially in moments like Dolph and AJ putting Corbin through the table. Oh, I was like, are you serious? Like, it was stuff like that. I was like, yes. Like, cause it's like you said, in triple threats, like, you really don't know what to expect. It's like, it gets to a point where you're just kind of bracing yourself at all costs. Because it can be over, like, in the blink of an eye. This guy hits this one with his finisher, then the third dude comes out of nowhere and knocks him off, and then 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Seen it too many times, loved it every time. So,
yeah,
this match was greatness.
Yeah,
it was.
I thought it had like a lot of good elements, and AJ Styles came out on top, man. The company is betting with AJ Styles right now. But he's going to face John Cena at Royal Rumble.
And this is where Cena ruined that moment for me. Because he came out, and of course he came out in Cena fashion. And if no one knows what I mean by Cena fashion, what I mean is he came out and he came running down the ramp, he slid into the ring, and just when I thought that he was just gonna like knock AJ's head off or something, no, he stands there, he does the whole hat and shirt thing, and then he sticks his hand out. He literally just stands there with his hand out, waiting for AJ to shake his hand. So AJ shakes his hand, he doesn't do anything else. He's just there. I was like, Cena, for real. You came down here earlier with this attitude, and you didn't follow through. Like,
nope.
I'm done.
Nope.
I'm so done.
Yeah. Because you thought he would have, like, tried to hit an AA or something like that. Nope. Mm-mm.
Exactly. Yeah. At least that much, you know. I'm not saying that he had to go full heel and nothing like that. That's not what I was expecting. You know what I'm saying? Because you shake the dude's hand, fine. I thought he was going to pull him in for the AA, hit him with it, and then, like, be done. That would have even been awesome. But he didn't do any of that. Like, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything. He just stood there. And I was just like, okay, that was it for me. Like, that was it for me. Like, I was just flabbergasted. I was like, you can't possibly be serious. You brought all that out here, like, and then did nothing with it. Thanks, Cena. Get out my face. Like, I was just done after that. But fine. I couldn't digest him and AJ at the Royal Rumble.
Right.
I can. You know? I can definitely digest that. I think that SmackDown would have ended. I'm not gonna lie. SmackDown would have ended better with that AA happening. Like, I just needed just a little bit more violence. Like, I just needed that AA to happen one good time, and then that would have been good.
Right.
But I'm done. Let me not even. Deep breath, Keisha. Deep breath.
All right. So,
okay.
I think what we're going to do is we'll take our last break and come back, and after that, it's all 2016. All right, we are here on the other side of the break. This is the home stretch, the 2016 recap, year in review. Keisha, what's some of your standout moments of 2016 overall?
Let's see. Well, I can just name off anything.
Yeah, just different news stories that we went over and whatever.
Okay, so one of them was definitely China's death. It was hard to take. It was definitely a hard pill to swallow. Like, because one of my, I don't know if people actually notice or not, but one of my dreams in life was to actually meet her one day. So to know that's never gonna happen, it's difficult. Happier moments, Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair, Hell in a Cell. That was one of the best things I've ever seen in life. Period. I'm sorry. I loved every second of that match. Everything about it. It was one of my highlights, definitely. Another one of them, of course, we've already talked about it, but AJ Styles debuting at Royal Rumble was absolutely incredible. It was definitely an awesome thing to even happen, let alone see. What else can I think? Oh my God, so much stuff has happened this year. I don't even know what else to. I don't know. Oh my God! I can't forget about Shane McMahon. Geez, what am I thinking about? How could I forget about the draft and?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Okay.
Everything.
Shane McMahon coming back is crazy. And coming back and staying. I think we know Shane was coming back. We anticipated Shane to be back for a limited time only.
Right.
He's still here, right? Also,
exactly.
We realized that we got the brand extension. We have went to two in this year. We split to two separate brands. We got two new titles. And I mean, that's crazy. Because we didn't have that last year at all. We had one title. And, we went. So that is pretty much huge. Because the WWE went two directions, right?
Right.
With SmackDown and Raw, with NXT being a solid third brand. Then we had the Cruiserweight Classic this year, which was huge. I think the Cruiserweight Classic is the first step in our expansion to what we have now, right? And what I mean by that, the WWE trying to take over the world. And they are trying to have a foothold in every possible market. They are trying to own wrestling. The Cruiserweight Classic was big because they brought in wrestlers from all over the world, various promotions, to do the tournament, right?
Right.
First of all, bringing back the Cruiserweight division. That's an international expansion because, that brings in the luchadors from Mexico. That brings in your Japanese guys. This, that, and other. So, like I said, that's our international expansion. Now, they ran the tournament around the same time as the Super J tournament was going on in New Japan, which is the biggest cruiserweight tournament pretty much every year. So, that's kind of a shots fired kind of thing also. Because you basically, guys had to choose, and now y'all compete directly for the same kind of talent. The WWE running shows in Osaka, Japan, more than a few times. the talent raid this year, Keish. First of all, you know when they would never touch TNA talent? Remember, like, they would just act like TNA guys didn't exist?
They acted like TNA was the plague. Like, they seriously would even, like, TNA wasn't even, like, an actual thing to them. Like, TNA, the way they referred to TNA was like, yeah, and those other companies. Like,
right.
They didn't even, like, actually mention TNA by name. They were, like, just like, yeah, those guys. Like,
but who won the Cruiserweight Classic this year? Manic, a.k.a. TJ Perkins.
right.
Jesse Sorensen was in the tournament. They'd been around NXT. Bobby Roode. Glorious. Which,
oh, my God.
God, he's so over right now. Samoa Joe, NXT champion. I mean, they've Eric Young has sanity now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even counting AJ,
Right.
the club, because those guys really blew up in New Japan. Their reputation in New Japan was where it goes. AJ Styles was just a worldwide phenomenon. New Japan was part of that. And then the New Japan talent raids. Shinsuke Nakamura, who is the most charismatic wrestler in the world. I don't think they make that signing a couple of years ago. But they're trying to make sure they have, like, very high profile Japanese wrestlers on the roster, right? So this year, you signed Nakamura. You already had Asuka. You went and got Hideo Itami last year. Kota Ibushi was a big part of your Cruiserweight tournament and was in your tag team tournament. He hasn't signed with y'all, but he has. I mean, hey, do we not think that there's going to be a future with him in the WWE? So you're building up the fan base with those guys. Then announcing that UK tournament, the WWE wants to take over the world. And they're going to have an independent promotion in the UK probably, where the UK title is defended. They're going to run the show probably on the network. And I think they're going to set up a bunch of satellite territories and broadcast the shows on the WWE network. The Cruiserweight Classic turned into crown of the Cruiserweight champion, the Cruiserweight brand going to Raw, then flipping back to now they got their own show, 205 Live.
Exactly.
4 active brands, Keish. SmackDown, Raw, NXT, 205 Live. That's what we got out of 2016 for the WWE.
Which is greatness, because I watch all of that.
And they're still going.
I watch all of it.
So what you've got is 7 hours of original programming before, and that don't include like stuff like Total Divas, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. Total Bellas, because they got a spin off of the Diva show. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can lock down your TV with just WWE. But New Japan isn't taking it lying down. And, you know, they've been trying to put a foothold in the U.S. for a long time. Wrestle Kingdom going to be broadcast in English this year. They just announced on New Japan World, all the title matches from 2016 are now free on New Japan World that you can watch and stream it on New Japan World. You don't have to pay for the subscription, which you go pay probably because in about 4 days you're going to be trying to watch Wrestle Kingdom. And like I said, they try to protect their talent and they try to protect their territory because they know the WWE is going to go into Japan and try to buy one of those independent Japanese territories.
Yeah.
Let's believe it's going to happen.
They are.
And try to run TV over there in Japan.
Yeah, Japan is like, no.
So, yeah. But yeah, that happened. Like I said, TNA legal troubles this year was crazy. I mean, the Billy Corgan lawsuit, who saw that coming? They still got to deal with the state of Tennessee. They still got to deal with some other things. I don't know what Fight Network is going to do with them. But they're betting all in, and I think they're trying to still kind of figure out a way to take over. But they hanging around, Keish. They're hanging around. There's been a lot of partnerships going on. Ring of Honor announced their partnership with PWG this year. I think that's huge because the American Indies realize they're going to have to work together to stick around. Because Evolve is backed by WWE essentially now. Not necessarily backed, but they have support. And they can get stars from NXT to come to the Evolve pay-per-views. You know what I mean? That is going to be huge. It has been huge this year.
It has.
I mean, 2016 has been a good year to us in wrestling. And I think we've seen that the business is healthy. And it has the potential for expansion, which I don't think we've had in a long time. Like, I think this is the first year in a long time I can say I saw the wrestling business grow. And that's largely the WWE, but other companies have made some big strides. The Fight TV app, really, if you don't have it, I say download it, Keish. You can watch ROH for free. You can watch Championship Wrestler from Hollywood, their weekly episodes. A lot of the indies that do weekly televised programming have their weekly show on there for free. You can pay for the app.
TV.
Fight FITE. You can pay to see some of the other shows. TNA is starting to stream some stuff on Fight TV. So I would definitely get involved with that. If you want just another alternative to watch your wrestling, and they're on Apple and Android, and you can stream to your Chromecast if you want to stream it to your television. So if you got a Chromecast, you can stream it there. And I'm assuming eventually they're gonna make apps for. I'm not sure if they don't already have a Roku app, but I'm pretty sure that's coming down the pike, and Fire Stick and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Flow Slam, aka Flow Sports, which Evolve is working with, and the WWE is also a side investor. So they're even hedging their belts in the streaming game. You know what I mean? So there's another streaming app for wrestling, and the WWE kind of got their money involved a little bit. Well, they got their money involved in the company, and they treat it like the app is something different. But if you invest in the company, you invest in the app, right?
Right.
So that's 2016 as well. The technology game, I think, in wrestling really evolved. And I think what's going to happen is these companies are going to depend less on television as an outlet, which television has been the lifeblood of wrestling. If you didn't have TV, you didn't have nothing, right? I still think that kind of exists today, but I think now TV will be a secondary product going forward. Right now, it's still the primary product, but I think in 3 or 4 years, it's going to be a secondary product outlet. And the main product is how do you get your... Because we're in a generation of cable cutters, right? Keith, you're part of this newer generation. Y'all don't fuck with cable like that.
No,
as long as y'all got internet, y'all good.
Not too much. Keith, when I tell you that I'm a streamer, like, I am a streamer. If for the most part, I stream just about everything.
Right.
I watch regular TV for like the news and maybe a couple of shows here and there. Definitely watch it for football. I don't really watch regular TV like that. Like, most of the shows I watch and stuff I stream. Because I have this habit. One of the newer things that I know, like, I have the people that are my age or whatnot or around it, we like to do is binge watch stuff. You know, a show goes into a season and then, like, it gets like 6, 7 shows in, and then you go back and you start over. You start from the very first show and you just binge watch it. Like, you just watch episode after episode after episode for like hours and hours on it. And like,
honestly,
yeah.
You know what? How helpful that's been for me to binge. One, it's a lot of good TV out there. And with these other platforms, see, even television has itself has changed. With these other platforms, they are allowing you to, there's so much good content now, right? So you got what comes on TV, but you do now have the Netflix original series, Hulu doing original programming, Amazon doing original programming. So I gotta knock out some binges, and to be honest with you, it's cool. And since the regular TV now has on demand stuff like that, I haven't binged that stuff. Even with wrestling, Keish, to be the journalist that we are, sometimes I can't watch NXT every week. But you know what I can do on a Saturday? I can watch the last 5 NXT shows.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is greatness. The network is my best friend. Like, I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but, like, outside of, like, regular life, like, yeah, all I'm doing is watching the network. Like, period.
Yeah, because even with, like, the pay-per-view, like, if I don't get to see the pay-per-view, if I get home late or whatever, I don't stress about it now. Because it used to be like, I got to see this pay-per-view. I got to get home. I got to do this. Now I don't, because it's like, yo, I'll just pull it up tomorrow. So to have that at your disposal is crazy. But with the Fight app, like, that's how I get caught up on ROH. I don't always get to watch because it's kind of hard to watch the weekly program every week. You know what I mean?
Right.
Honestly, I think in the next 3 years after the WWE, once this TV contract ends with Universal, NBC, unless they just keep offering a ton of money where they can't turn it away, do not be surprised if Raw and SmackDown become exclusive properties of the WWE Network.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised by that. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
Because then, how much would subscriptions go up? Because see, the thing is, one, I think that people are going to want to watch it every week. I think those subscriptions, because I think, like I said, people are going away from cable. This may be the way that the WWE, I think they're prepared. That's basically what I'm saying. And like I said, all their new stuff is coming out on the network. So let's see how these things go. I'm very interested. But yeah, man, 2016, I think, is the year of growth in the wrestling business. And there's a lot of opportunity. Wrestling is coming back mainstream. A lot of mainstream outlets are covering wrestling. ESPN is covering wrestling now. You know what I mean? And that partnership has grown. They're at all. At first, it was just going to be WrestleMania, but now they're showing up at SummerSlam and other big events. I'm sure they're going to have a special for Royal Rumble. Rolling Stone, we just talked about their top 10 lists. Like the music magazine Rolling Stone, the entertainment magazine Rolling Stone, yeah, they covering wrestling again. That's Attitude Era type stuff, right?
Right.
So when we start getting I'm not saying we're going to be an Attitude Era type popularity anytime soon, because I mean that's ridiculous. That was 11 million viewers every week. You know what I mean?
Oh man!
On a Monday night. I mean, the Losing Company had 5 million people watching. So just understand, It's a little different. But I don't think we're far from it. And I think there's going to be more opportunity for people. I can tell you just personally, as a journalist, as somebody who, my bookings are starting to go up as far as other podcasts, radio shows, regular, like terrestrial radio. You know what I mean? Phone calls are getting made. So just understand. This is the year of growth in the wrestling business. And I think wrestling is about to be cool again. So
it is. I mean, to some of us, like, it never stopped. But to the rest of the world, yeah, it's starting to kind of, get back to that point. And I'm happy about that. I am. I'm excited. Like
wrestling is finding a casual fan again. And I think that's incredible. Like, I think it's finding a casual fan. So yeah, I mean, with 2016, I think that's one of the things that we can really, really hang our hat on. So, like I said, this year it wasn't that really bad year in death. China was a major. Blackjack Mulligan. We lost Mr. Fuji. We lost Iron Mike Sharp. Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten, which I would say brace yourselves. the ECW guys, you're going to start seeing a lot more of those. I think the injuries and the drugs and stuff like that, that's going to catch up. So, I mean, not to sound like a negative ninny, but that's going to catch up. But overall, like I said, we had 19. Do you know in 2010 there were 38 deaths from the business?
Jesus, 38?
I mean, and I don't know how. Here's the thing. I don't know if they got everybody. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it might have been some missed, but still, that's a high number for you not to be missing people. Like,
yeah, I mean, for an industry, yeah, we're looking at 38. 2007 had 32, which, you know, that was a big year. But most of the time it's like 20. You know what I mean? Now they show. Now it's kind of funny because they chart like in the 50s and 60s it was like 2 every year. You know what I mean? But like I said, I don't know how accurately you could chart that. Those are the territory days. That's a lot. I mean, I don't know how much research you could do for that. You know what I mean? Like I would assume that there was 3 car accidents in the 1950s. You know, which this is okay. That's kind of morbid. So let's go into best matches of 2016. Keish, I'm gonna throw some for you.
Go ahead.
One, I watched Christmas Day because Christmas Day I was turned on the network, and Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, #1 contenders match at Fastlane. And I'm not ranking the matches either. But yeah, that I didn't realize how incredible that match was until I watched it again. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, Falls Count Anywhere, Raw. Sasha Banks was the title with the bank statement, which with Charlotte through the rail.
That was greatness. Actually, that was like one of the best endings for a match that I've seen all year.
Yeah. I mean, the way that ended and just the drama that unfolded, and that was a main event match for Raw, right?
Right.
Because Foley reset the match and said we're going to do it as in the main event, and the drama that I think ensued in that one, and the emotion I think very much carried that match. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the year, Keish. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles in Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP Intercontinental title. Who knew?
Of course.
Who knew at the beginning of that last year, January 4th, because it's January 4th every year. January 4th, 2016, when you watched that match. Now, we knew AJ was leaving the company. Nakamura, we wasn't 100% sure. But we watched that match.
Now look at them both.
Wrestling moves so fast now, Keish.
It does. In a blink of an eye. Like, I mean, seriously. Seriously. Like, it does move that fast. And I don't think people realize it now.
I mean, if you look at the title changes and you look at all the stuff, people moving and stuff like that, I mean, like, this is 3 years worth of stuff back in the day.
Right.
That's why it's kind of hard to keep up.
Exactly.
But, in my matches so far, and a lot of them I know may seem a little tail end of the year, but that's because Keish, shit been so good. It's kind of hard to. Going back to the beginning of the year for the Nakamura Styles match took work. The Revival versus DIY, best 2 out of 3 falls.
That was, oh my God, that
NXT
was incredible.
Takeover.
That match was everything. Like, oh my God, I loved every second of that match. Like, I didn't think tag team competition could, like, get any better. I swear I didn't. Like, I was like, yes, I lived in that moment.
And that's another thing, too. Resurgence of tag teams, Keish. I grew up a very solid tag team wrestling, right? Tag teams were a staple. They could main event shows. Many times the Midnight Express was a main event with Rock and Roll Express. Many times the Horsemen were main event. Many times the Road Warriors were main eventers. Wasn't that big of a deal. The British Bulldogs versus the Hart Foundation was incredible theater to watch. Demolition. I mean, I'm going down the list. The Rockers. Tag team wrestling meant something. The Rockers never won the WWE tag team titles. Well, they did win on a Saturday Night main event that got edited out because the rope broke. But that's another story.
Right.
But no, they never really won, right? But that being said, I mean, they were still one of the top tier teams. And people dug it. So, WCW and WWE both would have 10 teams each. And I think we're getting there now. Like, SmackDown and Raw both have compelling tag teams. They had enough to have a Survivor Series match. And NXT still is stocked with tag teams. So, whenever it's time, they can pull another team up from NXT. The revival is coming. I don't know what's going to happen with Blake and Murphy. Which, they reminded me of the Midnight Express. Blake and Murphy remind me. Dash and Dawson, the revival remind me more of the Horsemen. They remind me of Arn and Tully. Like, you could slap Arn and Tully face on them and I couldn't tell you the difference. But it's them. Paul Ellering got him some monsters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Authors of Pain. And, I mean, that's a traditional Paul Ellering team. Big bruisers. I mean, that's what he brought with the Road Warriors. Not saying those young men are the Road Warriors, but I'm just saying, hey, they looked the part. You know what I mean? So tag team wrestling has made a big resurgence, and I'm very happy to see that. Also, okay, in my list of matches, speaking of American Alpha versus a Revival. American Alpha, Keith. I'm talking about tag teams here. Takeover Dallas. Overcoming the Hump.
Right. One of the greatest tag teams that I have seen, like, period. Like, the combination of those two men is just the most incredible thing they've put together.
Jeez.
Like, I have to honestly say, like, their success as a tag team is, like, almost, it's extraordinary.
Give me like, a heel run. Awesome. Give me a heel run with Kurt Angle as their manager.
Oh, stop it. Shut up. Like, please, just don't do that to me.
Give me a heel run with Kurt Angle as their manager.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine if that was Team Angle?
Yeah.
Like,
give me a dream match. Them versus Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, with Kurt Angle there somehow involved.
Like, do you not understand, like, how incredible that would be?
Because Shelton and Charlie can still go.
Keith, I would watch that, like, 10 times over. Like, I seriously would, like, I would shut down everything just to watch that. Everything. Like, I would literally, like, no, shut up. The match is on. Nope, I'm not doing anything else. I'm not answering the phone. Leave me alone. Like, unless you're watching this match with me right now, like, just don't even talk to me. Like, I'm not. No. They would be everything with Kurt as their manager. Like, I can't even get into this. Like, I just can't, because, like, these are hopes and dreams. Like, I don't even want to, like, get boosted up on. Like, I just don't even want to touch on that. The possibilities are endless. Jesus. So, no. Why would you do this to me, Keith? That is just wrong. It's evil. Do you know how evil that is?
Yeah, I mean, it's not evil, but it's evil. I'm just giving you the matches, man, or whatever. Cedric Alexander and Kota Ibushi from the Cruiserweight Classic. I mean, I think this was the one that put Cedric Alexander on the map.
It was.
Like, I think WWE fans, at least, I don't think they really knew who, or they was able to dial into who he was until that match. Any matches you got that's in particular that stand out, Keith?
One from the Cruiserweight Classic in particular, actually. Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano.
Yes.
That match was so emotional.
Yeah. Because they both wanted to move on, right?
Right.
They both wanted that so bad. They both wanted to be the winner. But at the same time,
it sucked, because they had to take each other. One had to take the other out,
right,
to do it. It was the worst, but it was the best thing ever. The stakes of that match was absolutely. It was so high, it was just untouchable. And then I'm not gonna lie, the way that Ciampa took it to Gargano was, that was ruthless. I was hurting for him. I was like, Jesus. Those slams on the apron and, oh man. That match, took everything from me. That was just, it was emotional. Another match in particular that I thought was, actually, I'm gonna go on one that I thought was pretty awesome, and I have to add into it. I had it in my head, man. And why is I'm not remembering? Jesus. You know how you just thinking about something, and then you just forget, in 10 seconds, that just happened. It was on my mind, and I was sitting here thinking about it the whole time, and now I don't even remember what it was. This sucks. But it had to do with Charlotte Flair, because we were talking about her, and because the women's division this year has been absolute. I'm going to give it to the Raw's women's division this year. That has been absolutely incredible. Okay? That has been amazing. And but it wasn't the Raw. It was actually Asuka and Mickie James.
Yeah.
That I wanted to bring up.
Mickie
their match.
There's a reason why she got a multi-year extension.
Yes. Asuka and Mickie James was absolutely phenomenal. When I say that was one, if there was anybody other than Bayley that I felt really stuck it and hung it with Asuka, it was Mickie James. I was incredibly impressed with the match in a whole, because I was hanging on by threads the whole match. Whenever I see Asuka wrestle, I really, it depends on who she's wrestling. Because when she wrestles jobbers, it's more so okay, I know how this is gonna go. But when she wrestles the women that are there every week, really I hold my breath, because I really seriously anticipate what could happen in these matches. And
here's the thing.
That was one where it was just,
I'd be afraid for her, because Asuka, them kicks, ooh, she don't hold back.
To hear the kicks is one thing. To feel them, I don't even want to. I personally probably would never wrestle again. I'd be
no.
I'm not even finna.
Or it's this match is over. This shit, they got real.
Right.
It's gonna become a shoot right here, right now. You ain't gonna kick me like that.
I really think I would have taken a couple of kicks. They would have got me off the mat, and I would have no, I'm done. Walk completely out of the arena. I'd be I'm finished.
Where is she going? What is she doing?
And then don't ever come back. Just no.
Quit my job today.
I think of the same thing when I think of Nakamura. I'll be that sounded way more brutal than it feels. I'm pretty sure that it feels worse, but that sounded like it hurt. some things don't really sound like they hurt. Like, his kicks sound like they just will kill you. Like, I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm good on that.
That's why he's the king of strong style. But speaking of Asuka and
right,
the women's division, Keish. Here's the thing: the top 5 wrestlers in the company, 2 are at least women. You know what I mean? Which is crazy to think about because that wasn't a thing last year, right? Maybe not
at all.
Or 2 years ago. So, end of the year, that's what we're talking about. They're stocked. Like, if you go Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, who is the GOAT right now. Like, I can't take nothing from Charlotte, man. Like, she got people down. Like, I watched the show with the family, and everybody's down in. Like, Charlotte believes. Like, I'm gonna give you the old Terry Funk thing. I can't convince them that it's real, but I can convince them that I'm real. Charlotte convinced you that she for real. And then that's just Raw. I mean, SmackDown got Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella and Natty. You know what I mean? Then NXT, Mickey gonna come through, and she'll probably end up on the main roster quick because she a vet. Asuka's killing it, but she'll probably go to the main roster. Ember Moon, you know what I mean? And we ain't even got to Nia Jax.
No, we haven't even talked about Nia Jax. Like.
So, I mean, we got diversity in the game. We got... What we missing? We got all the colors. We got sizes. We got styles. You know what I mean? Like we came a long way from the cookie color division. You know what I mean?
I think the Lord. Like, I was glad when the women's division moved away from the whole diva thing in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was thoroughly excited about that. When the women's championship was presented at WrestleMania, that was it for me. Like, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was excited because I was so sick. Like, I'm not even going to, exaggerate. I was so sick of that damn belt and the Divas thing and the whole... I hated it because I was like... Because it was so soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, yes, they're women. I get that. I get it wholeheartedly. But they made it so pillowy. Like, it was like... Oh my God, the divas, and they come out in these outfits, and they're like, oh hi, I hated it. It was awful. Like, I was like, you might as well just give them trophies every week. Like, are you serious? Like, the divas belt was the worst looking thing I've ever seen. Like, I hated it. It looked like a giant boret. Like, I was really just done with it. Like, after a long time, I was done with it.
Right.
So, and especially because there was you could start to see a slow change already in the women's division when different women were starting to be incorporated into the main roster, and especially with NXT. NXT women's division was kicking ass. And the main roster had to either compete or pretty much do what they needed to do and just move the women up and bring them to the main stage. So now I am excited. I love every minute of watching the female superstars out there doing their thing.
Right. So, with that being said, I think we're going to wrap this up. I thought we had a very productive show. 2016 was very promising. I thought it was very good for us at Ring Time. 2017, we will produce a lot more content. The Monday Night Wars is coming back. We got 3 movie reviews I got in the tank that will be coming down in the next couple of weeks. And just the usual shows. We'll do more shows about non-WWE things.
Of course.
So, for Keisha, we are out, and we will catch y'all on the back end next week. Peace.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy 2017 coming.